Called it all the way back in the premiere episode, didn't I?
Well, when you think about it, it was the only possible reason.
So the biggest difference between the show and the video game is how you can get infected.
That's right. The show turns the infected into carbon-garden zombies who have to bite you to infect you, whereas the game is much more original, as the infected release spores into the air, creating a whole different dynamic.
And now, there's parity.
Another evolution. So now, there's clever hunting infected, who still need to bite you, and airborne spores.
And they're both present in Seattle.
Never mind that. I gotta say, when you see that Seattle is in the middle of a brutal war and both sides are as vicious as the other, the most sensible thing to do is to make like a tree and get out of there.
Our heroes aren't sensible.
You can say that again. I also thought the episode was kinda repetitive. I mean, we had a massive scene with infected in the last one, and here we have the same. We have sneaking into buildings, we have to avoid infected, scars, and wolves. I guess what's different here is that we now have dumbass protagonists.
Revenge gives you a singular purpose, but it also tends to make you miss the obvious.
Oh, come on. There's a big-ass building the wolves don't go in, so why use that as a path to the hospital?
Well, because it's unguarded.
And there's a reason for that. A reason that an entire army don't venture in. And really, Ellie and Dina shouldn't have made it out alive.
Were it not for a Deus Ex Machina.
Ugh, I hate those.
More like a Jesse Ex Machina.
That doesn't make it any better. Out of nowhere, and all of a sudden, Jesse appears, saving them in the nick of time, when there was no hint or a clue of him and Tommy were on their trail. Come on. I mean, okay, they had to survive, or at least one of them had to, but that was unsatisfying.
So, yeah, Ellie and Dina are reckless with a singular purpose to find Abby.
And kill her, like Abby did Joel, in the middle of a bloody war zone. They got this far, I'll grant them that, but that's not sensible.
And I agree with you. Last episode we had great tension, especially in the basement. The direction was tight. Here it felt, I don't know, more floppy. The problem with zombie shows is after a while they run the risk of getting repetitive. Okay. I know they've now introduced 2 new variants of infected, but the fact Ellie's immune to all of them, even though that's the whole point of the show, is starting to make her feel overpowered.
It does make for a good final scene. The one where we see she's just as evil as Abby.
Violence begets violence, as I said before. You know the old saying, before you embark on a journey of revenge, dig 2 graves. It's also not surprising Ellie would have been so sadistic.
Granted, I found it more surprising she managed to sneak into the hospital unobserved, and that guards have such bad shots when they need to be.
Plot armor will always protect you.
That's the same with every story ever told. And yeah, you were right about Joel.
It's the only thing that made sense. Explains his and Ellie's deteriorating relationship at the start of the season. And we'll be getting a flashback episode next week to show us how it all happened.
Oh, that's gotta be brutal.
In the meantime, I thought this episode was weaker than expected, and were it not for some unwelcome surprise saves, our heroes wouldn't have made it, making the events unsatisfying. I think that when the audience feels the sensible action is to turn back and go home, we start to lose our connection with the supposed heroes, and I feel this is what's happening here. Ellie's action at the end further distances us from her too.
And we won't get a resolution to this next week, as it's flashback time.
I don't mind a flashback. Timing could have been better, mind. But yeah, this was the weakest episode of the season.
The weakest of the season so far. I mean, come on. Ellie somehow finds Nora, or one of the people that was there when Joel died. Fine, I can accept that. But then she manages to run away from Ellie, but doesn't head for where the armed guards are, but instead hides in the infected second basement. You'd think she had no idea what the layout of the place she works in is.
It was so the story could happen.
That's never a good thing, Gigi. And there were far too many of those moments in this episode. I'm not mad, just disappointed.
These were our thoughts on the Last of Us episode, Feel the Love. But what did you think of this one? Leave your thoughts in the comments, and if you like what we do,
and how we do it,
and you feel you'd like to help us out,
please consider joining our Patreon.
As long as you can afford it, of course.
We'll leave a link to it in the description and pinned comment. Thanks for watching, and we'll speak to you again next time.